So let's speak about it. Let's have a space here and now to talk through some stuff. Perhaps we can learn from each other, our own experiences. I know for Christina, good to see you there. Yeah, I know for a lot of my past experiences, the relationships have been a big topic. It caused a lot of heartbreak and pain and suffering in my life. But yeah, it's one that's important to talk about, right? Do I believe in the sentiment of soul ties? I don't know what soul ties really means. I mean, words, eh? What does a soul tie really mean? Are we tied in some way to another? We're only tied as much as we believe we are, is my opinion. Quite ties in quite nicely to relationships and what we could talk about here. For me, when I am not receiving something that I deeply desire, I want to feel loved, right? I may find someone that I think is this is the person, this is the one that's really going to help me to feel really loved. And I spend some time with them and maybe they love bomb me and I feel really loved. And then it's like, are they supposed to be like a soulmate, or is there some sort of soul tie going on here? Because this person's giving me what it is that I feel like I really need. We get trapped, we get stuck, believing that that's the truth for the long term, that this person actually is the one and they're the one that means something so much, so that we kind of forego our other needs. And that soul tie, soulmate stuff to me is a trap. It's not an excuse for you to invalidate your own feelings and emotions just because you think that they're not going to be met in any other way. There's a real power in seeing that you can meet your own needs and that you don't need that other person that you think maybe in the moment that you do. It's just slowing down enough to notice that, hey, do you know what? This person is providing me a lot of my needs here. Why was I providing them to myself in the first place? Why have I become dependent upon this other person to fulfill all my own needs? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, we can have people that show up in our lives and they help us. They help us fulfill needs that are unmet within ourselves. But it's when we become dependent upon them for doing that the problems begin to arise. We become codependent. We need this person in our lives long term in order for us to fill our needs. And that's the trap. But in that trap, we can become aware that, here are my unmet needs. Here's what I'm trying to be fulfilled by being in relationship with this other person. Wondering if the right person, if it's the right person, but not the right person. To me, it's all very simple, relationships. It's as simple as, am I committed to them and are they committed to me? Without that, it will never work. You have to equally be committed to each other. That's a relationship. And it doesn't matter how different you are. If anything, you're never going to find someone that's perfect for you and everything goes smoothly from the beginning, because all that actually matters is your commitment to each other. If you're committed to each other, you will work through anything and everything. It may be messy at times. And most relationships are messy. That's the brutal, honest truth here. But it's purely dependent on that commitment to each other. The moment one of you no longer is committed to the other, it's all going to fall apart. Just a matter of time, guarantee it. Self-sabotage is hard, yeah. The partner says, he couldn't see me with another man when we were broke up. Do you think he's the one if you say he's the one? That's the reality of this. But is he saying that you're the one? That's all that it depends upon. Yeah, I love how simple this all really is. Yeah. Hey, Unicorn Diana. How do you move on from your ex? I'm not here, by the way. Yeah. How do you move on from an ex? When you see that person, that ex, as someone that's like a jewel, you hold them in such high regard, and you see that they were such a source of love and positivity in your life, and now they're no longer with you. It's like that jewel is no longer there in your life. So trying to move on without that is quite difficult, right? It's very difficult, very painful. The way you move on is you see that they're only that shiny jewel because you created them to be that. And actually, if they're not willing to choose you anymore, they were never the one anyway. You deserve someone who's going to choose you. That's literally it. So simple. I don't look like a real person. Hi, my name's Tom. I'm 32 years old in Weston-super-Mare. Here's my cut on my finger. I'm a real person. I'm a real boy. Yeah. I talk crazy to me. Good to see you again. Yeah. Watching my reruns on YouTube, Phoebes. What do you make of them? I've stopped posting them on YouTube because I've got I got the ick. I was like, is this the right thing to be doing? Am I saying stuff that's right? It's a bit like my content, I suppose. You make the video and you think to yourself, I could have done that better. And then you do it again and you do it again and you do it again. It's like you never get it perfect because every time you redo it, it gets better or different. It's just committing to just posting it, getting it out there, and it's going to be okay. And you'll learn from it. I may say some stupid stuff in the past, but yeah, post more, please. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to hear. I'll post more. post this on. I can say bottle of water, but then I become like a performing monkey, right? Tom, do the thing. Do the thing, Tom. Yes. And also simply if you ended it with them and feel sad about it. Yeah, use it. But there's a reason why you ended it with them. Maybe there's a need that you weren't getting met. Maybe they were unwilling to choose you in the ways that you feel like you ultimately deserved. Like, were they doing the bare minimum? Hey, look, I'm going to just go deeply personal for a moment. I was in a marriage, right? And my wife at the time decided to want to leave. She wanted a divorce. Do you know why she wanted a divorce? Because I wasn't being honest about how I was really feeling. I was showing up one way and I wasn't being truly honest about my deep inner feelings. I was saying the right things that I thought were right anyway, to continue the relationship, to drag it out essentially. But that wasn't my intention. My intentions were pure. I was just so disconnected from my own emotions that I was coming across as this inauthentic, I imagine, liar, essentially, saying one thing, but deep down feeling that I don't actually want that to be the case. Like saying that I want to have kids when I get to 30 years old, but deep down terrified of the prospect of even having kids. I think that's the point, is that when you become honest about your own needs and unmet needs especially, it's very easy to see that, oh, maybe this person isn't the right one for me because they're not really supporting me and my goals and what I'm after in my life. And especially if there's a biological clock involved, it's essential that you take that control. Yeah. What's going to be finished due to his behaviour and there is no return. Yeah, Jax, it is what it is, right? You can't control what other people do and how they behave. Like you can try your best, but then who becomes a narcissist? Oh, it's the one that's trying to control the other, right? So you have to prioritize yourself. Yeah. And it's as uncomfortable as it is, there's going to be a relationship out there at some point in the future where you are being chosen. You're being seen for who you really are. To be loved and supported in that way is a beautiful blessing. It's incredible. I'm glad you're in a better place with yourself. I ended our engagement due to abuse and prioritize my safety. Yeah, it's got to be done, hasn't it? It's so easy to get stuck because we can fall into that trap of, like, I say ego, the thoughts in our head about this is what I deserve. Maybe this was what love looked like when I was growing up. Here's what my parents demonstrated to me. And we repeat those patterns and cycles over and over again. But the way out is to recognize, I've got some unmet needs going on right now. It's my responsibility to meet those needs, to fulfill them. And if they're not being met, especially in a relationship, then what can we do differently about it? Yeah, there's lots we can talk about in relationships, and I know it's very nuanced to a large degree, so a lot of this is going to be very generalized. I'll share my own lived experience as best I can. Maybe that male perspective is useful. Yeah. Yeah, he's really destroying a lot of us. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, trying to do what's right for the other person to help them to get their needs met whilst sacrificing our own. And then we become resentful and wonder why things aren't very fulfilling in life and why we're so frustrated and upset and feel like we're trapped. I'm doing all the right things I think I should be doing, but it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I love my life. I don't want to be here anymore. And then it gets really bad and you're like, maybe I should listen to myself and my own unmet needs there. Yeah, definitely the way out. Ending a 13-year marriage. Yeah, Jax. I know for me, when it was 7.5 years, 7 years, something like that, I was married for. And to me, at that time, it was very easy for me to say all the things like, oh my God, Tom, we're going to put all those 7 years just to waste. What was the point in that? You wasted 7 years of your life. You were in your prime, or whatever other rubbish that comes up. But the thing is, it's not wasted. Like you were in the marriage for the period of time that you were, because there was things you were getting out of it. There were lots of positive things you were getting from that experience, lots of lessons. And I would say now you're in a much better position because you can integrate the learning, the experience into your life. You won't be making the same mistakes again. And if you will, they'll feel worse. Just a spoiler alert. So make sure you learn the lessons and you integrate them into your life properly. But now moving forwards, after those 13 years of marriage, you're like, hey, do you know what? I'm not going to accept anything less. This is what I want for my partner. Someone who's going to be loving and respectful towards me and see me and accept me wholly and completely as I am, but also someone that loves and accepts themselves first. I'm not going to get myself into a relationship with someone who doesn't really value and love themselves in that way. Like, it's a beautiful filter that you can apply because you have all agency and capability of doing that. It's very easy though to get back to that, like to a neediness though. I need this person because my own needs aren't being met. And that's why it's so important we really do be honest and vulnerable about what are my own needs. Are you rainbow? Does that mean you're asking if I'm gay? No, I'm a straight boy. The judgment may not be the case for you, but judgment's a judgment. It might make it worse. I've said I was vegan as well. Whew, stereotypes coming out there, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird grieving someone who's alive. Yeah, you're literally thinking about the loss of someone that you loved. It's like you're mourning the loss of a past version of yourself as well. You're mourning the loss of who you once were in that relationship. That's so important to acknowledge and to love yourself for, because that's no longer you anymore. Yeah. Can you be loving towards the new you? Christina? I feel like a blanket. Want to when it's convenient, left alone when it required care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And enough's enough. Not going to be taking that anymore, right? It's not living authentically. It's best to be alone until we can be where we want to be and attract what we need. Yeah, so talk crazy to me. My experience has been one of, do you know what? Maybe it's perfect to be imperfect. To say, like, do you know what? This is me. I've got a lot of needs, and maybe I'm not meeting all of them myself. And I'll really benefit from being in a relationship with someone who could also help me with that. Maybe he's also working on their own stuff, because maybe no one's perfect. I know from my experience, especially with Alex now, like I'm in an incredible relationship where I'm so loved and supported, and it's made things so much easier for me because there's so much availability of love and support for me, especially in the times where I'm struggling to be loving and supportive towards myself. And that's not to say like it's a fallback and a way of coping, although it really does help. It helps me to see, by her embodying that self-love and support for herself, like a healthier way of doing things. And that's been so valuable for me. So maybe it doesn't need to be perfect straight out the gate. I think it's so important though that foundation of, am I committed to them? Are they committed to me? Is established, because without that, it's so one-sided. You're like, I need this person in my life, and you may be very committed to the taking of everything you can get from them, but if they're not committed to you, it's going to leave you devastated, and you'll probably be worse off because of it. But that time, if you can spend that time alone and being really honest about what is it I actually need in my life, where am I not feeling fulfilled, where am I trying to get something that I'm not feeling like I already have, that's going to help you identify where you're going to be tripping yourself up, especially in a relationship as well. Yeah. Married for 11 years, ended because he cheated on you. Yeah, Maria, you deserve so much better. You deserve to be chosen always. I think as soon as someone chooses someone else in that way, like sure, you can work through it. That's not beyond possibility. But my opinion and belief is if they've come to that extreme of a disconnect from you and not choosing you in that way, why would you want to risk that happening again? Like it's painful the first time. We have to do it twice, you know? Hey, Oreo. It's been a while. First time visiting my life the whole year. Fair enough. It's good to see you again. Yeah, perfectly imperfect, right? Yvonne, I'm glad to hear you're done with the exams. Congratulations. I'm certain it's gone exactly as it needed to go. Yeah, you end up nurturing a broken person. Yeah, I can really relate to that, where it's like, oh, do you know what? I can see this person's really struggling with all these different things. Yeah, let's just forgo all my own needs. Maybe, yeah, okay, well, I don't need sex for a while. It's fine. I'll put it off for 6 months and we'll just keep doing all the things to help this person feel better in themselves. And actually deep down, you're like, I actually resent this person for for my choice to look after them. Yeah. Whoa, Councillor said to me, he's lucky because his ex was dead. Mine was alive. I mean, why is that a lot? I don't know. I wouldn't be speaking to that counsellor very often, personally. Find the missing human touch from him. Yeah, human touch is a big thing, right? It's like, how do I get that physical affection? But I think that could be the gateway to the trap. It's like, why am I not able to attract a partner who really loves and respects me? And I seem to just keep going to the patterns of finding someone who's physically attracted to me, takes advantage of me. We end up having, sure, great sex and stuff, but beyond that, there's no real commitment to me. There's no long term. And then it's like a frustration there because you keep attracting people that don't seem to really care deeply enough about you. So that's when it's a case of, although I have that unmet need, like I really value the physical touch, the human affection in that way, I'm not going to let that become like me being needy. I'm not going to be desperate for that when I seek a partner. Because perhaps for you it's more important that actually there's a long-term commitment element to it as well. Break up with your boyfriend. My heart really... Yeah, there's a lot going on with breakups, right? Yeah, there's lots of emotions involved. I mean, you can grieve that maybe for whatever reason they didn't choose you anymore, or you weren't able to continue choosing them for whatever reason. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, it's going to be painful for a while. I noticed that the real pain comes in when we believe that we're losing like the love of our life. We're never going to find someone just like them again. They're this like crown jewel. They're our soulmate. And like the consideration of letting go of that, that's what causes the most amount of pain. But it's a misperception because they're only the soulmate because you created them and chose them to be that soulmate. Like that's your own creation. And what you're actually letting go of is your own beliefs about who that person is in the world. And when their actions may be clearly showing you that they're not even that. They're not your soulmate, they never were. I don't know, soulmate to me is like it's a conceptual thing that it all comes back to that choice. Are you choosing to be committed to each other? Because you could be in a relationship with anyone. And if you're both choosing and you're committed to each other, the relationship will work. And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable and difficult and how much upset and pain and stuff there is in it. If you continue to be consistently committed to each other, it will work, even throughout the messiness. I guarantee it. The moment one of you lapses, chooses someone else, that's it. It's game over. Yeah, loving yourself, huge part of this, right? But that's, again, it's a very conceptual thing. I see a lot of advice online that really actually kind of gets to me now and kind of annoys me. For all the right reasons, I suppose. It's like, oh, just take yourself out for a bath and go do the walk in the nature and stuff. And like, to me, loving yourself is so much deeper than that. That's like the superficial surface stuff that happens as a result of you choosing to love yourself. Like there's a connection to the understanding of the things that you want to be doing in your life that would be more supportive of yourself. Like going for a bath, like going for a walk. But that stuff bubbles to the surface as a result of the connection more deeply to loving yourself and really listening to what it is that you desire. Those needs that are not being met, that's loving yourself. Listening to them. Yeah. Why am I so worked up? Got a lot of energy today. We're going with it. I really wanted to talk about relationships. It's something I'm quite passionate about, if you couldn't tell. And I love having conversations about because it really does make such a difference. It's made such a difference in my life, both at the extreme end of going through a divorce and felt like extreme heartbreak, 3 months of despair, not reaching out for support and help. My lived experience was I kept everything isolated to myself. I didn't want to burden my friends and my family on what I was going through. I thought I'd be more of a failure for sharing that. So I suffered for 3 months. I wanted to end my own life several times. And now I see how important it is to speak up about this. So that's exactly why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. I think at the core of that's why I've been so motivated to be a coach, to help in that way. And that's why we're having these conversations, right? Do I like to travel? I really do love being safe and comfortable, if I'm being honest. My partner Alex, she loves to travel. So I have a camper van I'm still converting, but I think I'm self-sabotaging because I don't really want to travel as much as she might want to. So yeah, I can see how I'm holding her back in that way, which it's frustrating for me to see because I really do care about her and I want to go through those experiences in traveling together. So yeah, I need to pull my finger out a bit and get that camper van finished, you know? Yeah. Always been a firm believer, high intuition, that my person wouldn't be an American. Here's the beautiful thing, right? When you know, right? You have it's all down to you, your own deep inner feelings. And I just want to speak to the innocence of the creation of it. Like, you can create your persons being anyone, anywhere, from any part of the world. Like, it's, yeah, there's a real profound deepness I can go to here, but we're going to try and keep this a bit more, a bit more surface level, because I'm very good at going too deep too soon, especially in these lives, and that can disconnect a lot of people. Maybe I haven't felt that. Do I have a therapist? No. I've had a few experiences with therapists that were judgmental and quite rigid in structure. I didn't feel safe enough to share what I wanted to share, because I was afraid of what they might do, who they might report to. Like, because sometimes you have some really deep stuff. Like, I've said this a few times, and it's not present for me now, but in the past, when there'd been times like, I don't want to be here anymore, I was then terrified of, if I said that to a therapist, who are they going to tell? Who are they going to report? Are they going to section me? Am I going to have something against my record? Am I going to be banned from driving? Am I going to be stopped from doing something I love to do in my life in some way? That fear is the thing that stopped me. That's why I don't go to therapists as such in the typical sense. But having said that, as you can see here, having this conversation is incredibly important to me. So that's a conversation I have very honest and vulnerably with a lot of people. And my friends are incredible. They are the closest, most intimate conversations I think I've ever had with anyone in my life, as a result of this awareness that it's so important to speak about how we're really feeling and what's really going on for us, especially if in the UK you're a man and you're suffering in some way. Speak up about it. Like, I've got 30 minutes on my website. I'll give you that time for free. I'll give you longer to just speak up about it, because it's that important. Yeah. Why plural relationships? Yeah, Ruben, great question. Because it extends beyond just the intimate partner we choose. It's relationships, friendships as well. Where am I doing things for other people what actually I don't really want to be doing, but I think that I have to? Or perhaps people pleasing is a key trait I can relate to, where I'm trying to be so considerate about other people's emotions and their feelings, I disregard my own. So there's more to it than just intimate romantic partners that we commit to. It's our friendships as well. Yeah, how's your life going on? Really well. It's going really well. I have some beautiful hobbies. I think, like a lot of other men's hobbies, they seem to just be different modes of transportation, which is quite a funny realization I had recently. Yeah, practicing the saxophone a bit more. That's another goal of mine at the moment. Designing some more 3D prints, that'd be pretty cool. Can't actually see it at the moment. There's got a 3D printer just to the side down there. Yeah. Hey, Arthur's sister. What? And you want to coach? No, I don't want to coach. I am coaching. Yeah. Difference between being heard and being judged. Definitely. There's a huge, huge difference between being heard and being judged. If you are being judged in some way, the listening that person is giving you isn't as deep. It's like they listen as far as they want to until they hear the thing that they don't like, and then they stop the listening, and it's like projection of judgment upon you. And that's an awful feeling. That's not something that actually is that productive. It gets you to just close up and quit wanting to share. So having more of a space for you to be heard, seen, understood is so damn valuable. That's why I do what I do. It doesn't cost that much before you criticize me. Yeah. I like sensitive and thoughtful men like this. Yeah, thank you. Calm down. No, you calm down. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to project down to me. Yeah. Therapy is important if you're going to be coaching others. Yeah, do you know what? Some of the most judgmental people I've ever met have been therapists. So the work that I'm doing here isn't about like therapy's the only way. I think there's a real honesty in seeing that a lot of therapists become therapists because of their own judgments, and they find the work, the deep inner work, that uncomfortable. It's easier to project their judgments onto other people as a way of living than it is for them to actually confront their own fears and insecurities themselves. So again, another projection, but that's how I see it. And I don't want that to be the case, but it is what it is. That's why I do what I do. I was at the beginning 3 years ago going to become a counsellor to start with, and then studied to become a therapist, but I saw a system and a structure that didn't work fundamentally. So here we are. I'm being the change that I want to see in the world. Don't be highly sensitive. You come from a South Asian family. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to say this as well. I'm not saying this is all therapists either. There's some incredible human beings. And it's not That's not the point. I'm not here to like brand and generalize in that way. I'm just seeing that there's a system and a structure that truly doesn't serve people in the capacity that we have available to us to love and support each other. Like it is so, there's so many rules and constructs around it. Like you get into mental health here in the UK, and I hear so many stories about, oh yeah, I was in therapy for several years and it didn't really help me, and they prescribed me this medication, all these awful side effects, and I'm still in the same position, if not worse. And with that being a reality for so many, I can't just sit back and be like, oh yeah, I'll become a therapist and contribute to that system. Nah, fuck that. We deserve better. We want to love and support each other in a better way, you know? Yeah, so I'm sharing what's actually working for me, because I know for a fact that, well, without diagnosis, but I've been through some traumatic stuff in my past. It's very likely I have complex PTSD. But that's the whole point. In talking about and sharing this stuff, we get to what actually works for us. We don't just cover it over and pretend everything is okay. Like, oh yeah, see, I'm fine. You can't see all my problems because I'm not letting you see them. But it's so obvious to you that you can see that I'm just hiding behind my own stuff. Whereas actually being honest is the only way out, you know? Yeah, and maybe your reality isn't one of still suffering after therapy. Maybe therapy has completely changed your life. Fantastic. I'm so grateful for that. And you've had that connection to another incredible, loving human being that really cares and is able to do such profound work. Fantastic. But the frustrating part for me to see is there's so many people that are failed by the system in that way. So I want to help. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Yeah, I think fundamentally as well, when it comes to all of these topics, right? I'm not just here about relationships. I speak about many different topics, being highly sensitive, everything in life. All it comes down to fundamentally is seeing that actually the source of the answers is actually within you. Any great therapy, any great religion, any great modality, any great coach, all they're going to do is reconnect you more deeply to yourself so that you can feel that confidence, that belief in yourself, that ability to get the answers when you need them, that trust in your own intuition to guide yourself. Don't have to be following someone else, to listening to the person of power you put on a pedestal. Like, you go within. You notice how you're feeling, what's going on for you, what feels right for you. That is the answer. And anyone telling you otherwise, no, you need to listen to me, you need to do this, you need to take these medications, whatever else, to me is just false. It's not right. We have to go into the honesty there of, as loving and great as community is, it can't give you all of your answers. Your answers come from you and you alone. And any great modality, therapy, coaching, all that does is just reconnect you to yourself. Helps you to trust yourself. That's what it's all about. What should I do if my boyfriend is cheating on me with a trans woman? I mean, you're asking that question because one, I don't know if that's actually a truth for you, because I have a lot of people troll me, you know? Like, what was Tom going to answer to this one? What's Tom's thoughts on trans women? Like, I understand why you do it, because it's entertaining, right? Interesting. I want to make Tom say silly things. Let's just slow that down, though. The simplicity. What should I do if my boyfriend is cheating on you? Well, clearly your boyfriend isn't choosing you anymore. Are they still your boyfriend? If so, are they? If you're still saying and you're still categorizing, yeah, I still love and accept them who they are, even though they're not choosing me, then the experience and the emotions you're going through are kind of being invalidated. It's like saying, do you know what? This person's making me feel really awful, but I'll stay with them. Yeah, maybe you deep down you don't believe you deserve anyone better. Maybe that's what you think you deserve. Be honest about that and see it. I'm staying with this person because I don't believe I deserve any better. Wow. Is that really that kind and loving towards yourself? Yeah, of course you don't feel like you're enough for him. So he's lying to you. If you're enough for him, he wouldn't choose someone else. It's that simple. Honestly, that simple. You're always more than enough. But every time someone is saying one thing and their actions are speaking another language, trust their actions. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah. YB, exactly. I will never settle for less. How profoundly powerful is that for you, you know? Incredible. There are people who no one is enough for them. No one will be. Yeah. When we think about our own internal sense of reality, like, if I'm coming from a profound disconnect of love for myself and I feel like I'm not enough, and I need someone in my life to help me to feel like I am good enough. I am enough. It's like I'm going to be trapped. Because I need that person to make me feel like I'm enough. But I think deep down, for a lot of us, that's the wound that we're all coming from. We don't feel good enough. I'm not enough. I don't deserve love. And that's where the focus of this is all about. How do we direct love in a way back to ourselves to see that deep down we are loved? We are deserving, worthy, good enough. Yeah, Jax, exactly that. That's self-hate, isn't it, in a way? If anything that is an absence of love, it is fear. And hate is just a part of that fear. When we don't feel that love for ourselves, when we really struggle, and we're afraid of losing that partner because they become such a source of love. Of course we're afraid of losing them, because where else are we going to find that love? We don't know any better. We don't know that actually we have this love available to ourselves. We haven't had that connection to it yet. Maybe we have briefly at times, but we feel so disconnected from it that of course we're going to be so afraid of losing someone, because that loss represents a loss of that love that we feel when we're with them. And there's a real innocence to that, right? Yeah, stick with what we know, definitely. Hey, Gabriel from Ohio. How we doing, man? Being sensitive is a very healthy and good aspect of oneself. Yeah, man, definitely is. It's not the most easy thing to acknowledge, though, because a lot of the times when I've acknowledged my own sensitivity, it's other people can judge me like, oh, Tom, what's wrong with you? Why are you so sensitive? Why are you crying to that? And it's like so triggering for other people's fearful, and they want to project onto me. They want to say things like, Tom, why are you crying over that? That's not that emotional. And what they're doing is they're projecting their own fear or insecurity about if they were to be emotional or crying at what I'm crying at, it wouldn't be okay for them. So it's not okay for me. And it's just like a natural extension in order to keep themselves where they're at, you know? Am I a water sign? No, Taurus. Who's winning the World Cup? No, don't really follow football. Who does Ronaldo play for? Yeah, you just got to listen to iShowSpeed. I'm pretty confident he's a real geezer, isn't he? Yeah, love the book Highly Sensitive Person. Yeah, The Highly Sensitive Person by Dr. Elaine Aron had literally changed my life. I came across that book kind of by accident, I suppose. I was in the relationship with Alex at the time, and she was reading it herself. And I looked at it, picked it up. I was like, you know, when you pick something up, you're like, whoa. It's like you kind of feel it in your heart, in your body. You're like, this feels different. And I just remember reading the first page and like the first chapter, actual first page of the chapter, and I was like, closing the book, and I was like, who is this woman? Why has she written a book about me? So then I then remember spending like a month of my life just being so engrossed in this book, thinking, oh my gosh, this explains everything about me. Yeah, helped me so much. Hey, Miriko, sensitive code is a hint for ADHD sometimes. Yeah, maybe sometimes it is. Maybe it's all the one and the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that go through diagnosis for ADHD, autism. Maybe they're aware that highly sensitive. There's like many different traits that completely overlap. To me, I don't care about the labels. It's more important we understand what's really going on, what's your lived experience, what's your emotional self telling you, because therein lies the answers. Just because you get the diagnosis doesn't mean anything's actually going to change. Having the insights and the awareness can really help you, but if you keep doing the same thing, nothing's going to change. And actually, if you keep doing the same thing after a diagnosis, after the insights and the awareness, what actually tends to happen is you feel even worse in yourself because now you understand yourself more deeply and you're still not doing anything differently. And it can be quite a painful trap to be stuck in. So I think the awareness is incredibly valuable, but it can also become like part of a weapon you then beat yourself up with. So it's so important we become aware of these things, but don't become identified with that's who I am. I am someone who has ADHD and it defines me in every area. I'm never going to be able to do anything differently because I have ADHD. Like that to me is a source of the problem and a continuous struggle. Like I may say that I'm a highly sensitive coach. I say it less often now because I see that actually I'm being incongruent. I'm saying one thing and then identifying myself with being a highly sensitive coach. But it's there as like a marketing thing. It helps you to connect to, oh, wow, okay, I see that this person understands and acknowledges that part of themselves. And that's the important part. Okay, now that I see it, now that I've maybe gone through a diagnosis, now I understand myself, I have that label, can I use that to become more compassionate, more loving towards myself? Because therein is your answer. Yeah, I hate to be called too sensitive. I protect myself from family. Yeah, damn right you do. Yeah. When other people call you too sensitive, it's because they make you make them, by your presence, feel uncomfortable. Perhaps you are embodying something, you're being quite honest, quite vulnerable, at one with your emotions, and they're not. I don't think this is a bad thing. For me, it's a really positive thing, because the more I allow myself to express the emotions I feel, the better I feel in myself. And if other people want to stay emotionally constipated, that's their choice. I've spent enough time in my life being emotionally constipated, and it sucked. It didn't go on for very, very well for very long, because I end up really profoundly suffering. I have feeling emotion. I'd be like, no, it's not okay to feel this. Push it back down again. And then a week or a month or several months later, it'll come back up again, and it'll be overwhelming. I couldn't push it back down anymore, and I'll have an emotional breakdown because of it. That process sucks. I'll tell you what doesn't suck, though. Allowing yourself to feel. Saying even just last Saturday, I went to park yoga. And your judgment of me now, if you think that I'm gay, plus vegan, plus does yoga, you're like, whew. That's on you, that's okay. When I went to park yoga, put my yoga mat under a tree. Wait till I hear what I say next. Put my yoga mat under a tree, and we lay down as part of like the meditation bit beforehand, and I just started bawling my eyes out. I had no idea why I was crying. I was just fully crying. There's no logical reason for it, but I just allow myself to feel. And as a result of allowing myself to feel, the rest of my day felt so peaceful. I was like, I just don't have to worry about anything. Connected to how beautiful the birds are sounding, how wonderful everything looks. Everything became so vibrant. Having really lovely conversations with my partner Alex. Went for lunch afterwards straight away. Like everything just was so wonderful. And that's the simplicity of it. You either allow yourself to feel or you don't. And if you don't, it's going to suck. Yeah. Most people are high masking without knowing it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely not only autistic people. Oh man, I don't know how much are we allowed to talk about this stuff? It's human, isn't it, though? There's a lot of people I know that think that they're autistic because they have to mask so much. And then when they go through the diagnosis and they don't meet half the categories, like, what? How am I not autistic? I have to mask all this stuff. And it's like, maybe it's high masking ADHD. It doesn't matter what the label is. It's the understanding that I feel like I have to mask. I have to be someone in order to get my needs met. And therein lies the trap. You are constantly exhausted. You're constantly tired. You're constantly frustrated about having to be someone that you're actually deep down knowing that you're not. And the more you connect to who you really are, the more you become compassionate and loving towards yourself, the more clearly you see how you're putting on your mask. And then when you're putting on that mask, I like to do this because it's like hiding behind stuff. You think people can't see what's going on. You can't see that I'm wearing a mask. When to me, when you see it, it's like blatantly obvious you're hiding behind a mask here. And no wonder you're so exhausted and tired from it all. The only way out is being honest and vulnerable and choosing to put down the mask, to be yourself. And I get it. Sometimes in life, it looks like, I'm in a job where I feel like I have to be this version of myself that wears this mask in order to get the things done, to achieve and to get promoted and stuff. But you become resentful of the job. I don't want to be in work anymore. I don't want to wake up every morning because I hate my job because I have to be someone that I'm not. And I'm kind of a bit of a tangent from relationships. We'll go back. But the moment you notice that, it becomes unbearable for you to be wearing that mask any longer. And then you'll keep going on in life. You'll keep putting on the mask, but it'll become more and more emotionally exhausting. You'll get home from work and be like, I've got no energy to do anything else. You start to be ill more often as well. You'll burn out. And if you're experiencing any of these things right now, I want you to know we can have a conversation and I can help you work through that. It's not that complicated. But it takes a real honesty and vulnerability to do that, and a commitment. You have to be committed to no longer wearing the mask. And you know what? That's terrifying, isn't it? Because how else are you going to get your needs met? That's where it's really useful to have a conversation about what your needs even are. Maybe you've been wearing a mask for so long, you don't even know what you want anymore. You don't even know who you are. Perhaps you're going through a real deep identity crisis of like, who am I now? Who am I without this mask? Because that's who I've been for the last 10, 20, 30 years. Maybe you've been that person in a relationship for so long. Who are you without that mask? That's why I'm here, to help you with that. Because when you are allowed to be yourself, when you can notice what it is that you deep down really need, you can connect to that. You can begin to give yourself that love and compassion and fulfill your own needs. No longer is there a requirement for that mask. No longer are you drained from all your energy having to put on this mask and this performative way of being in the world that you know deep down isn't even you. That's why there's a conversation waiting for you on my website for 30 minutes, completely for free. And I'm not going to try and sell you anything. To help you to see more intimately about that mask and how much it's been costing you wearing it. Bexy, just explain me. Bexy, you're in the right place. Yeah. I burn out around hyper people. Yeah. Good. This is going to be a challenging thing to listen to for some people. Tom, you're telling me all the things about myself. I don't want to be here any longer. This is very revealing. Tom, you're making me put down my mask for a moment. Yeah, damn right. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it. Maybe saying the things you don't want anyone to tell you because it's quite triggering, but perhaps it's a very loving thing to do. To take the weight of that mask off you for a moment so you can see it for yourself. Where have I been pretending? I don't want you to be ill. I mean, I'm no expert. I'm no doctor, but I see the results of this being quite profound. If I continue to feel like I have to be wearing a mask, if I prevent myself from feeling the emotions I'm really feeling, my body will hold on to that. I've done enough work with my own trauma and other people with trauma to know that your body will keep hold of it. The Body Keeps the Score, an incredible book. Bessel van der Kolk, like incredible stuff. Because your body will keep it stored. Until you allow yourself to process and feel it, it will continue to remain there. And we wonder why we become burdened with cancers and disease and illnesses. And I get it. There's problems with the world and what we're eating and pesticides and all this other stuff. But hey, look, do you know what? If we can do something differently, especially when it comes to our own emotions and how we're feeling and how we're living our life, maybe this is the most important thing we should do. I want you to live a life you love. Whether you're a mother or father right now, like that's so important because you're not just showing up for you, because you need to show up for yourself. That's important, that's priceless. But how you then show up as yourself in the lives of everyone you care about, that's the change. When you give yourself that permission to be authentic, to rip off that mask, to be yourself fully. And I know these are just words, but there's a deeper connection here. I hope you can feel it. When you allow yourself to truly do that, you're becoming the source of permission for other people to do the same. You're also the source of permission for them to kind of throw their projections and fears and judgments at you because it's not okay for me to do that. So why are you doing that? That's not okay. And that's part of it. That's why they're going to try and drag you back down. That's the whole crabs in a bucket trying to drag each other down, trying to stay stuck. But this is why I'm here and speaking up about this, because I don't want you to be stuck. I don't want to be in that bucket anymore. I've spent enough time in that bucket with other crabs. It smells. We want to be out, living our life, doing things that we really love to do. And that's inspiring for so many. That's why we love to see and hear the stories about people that have gone from working like a dead-end job in a restaurant to living their dreams and becoming a multi-millionaire and having an incredible family and going on to write books and all this other stuff. We love to see it because we love that as seeing it being possible for ourselves. It's possible for you. I know it is. You're no different. You're just as powerful. Yeah, just as much possibility there. Yeah, relationships are really hard. That's why I prefer TikTok, right? It is. There's a lot of things that are really uncomfortable, but it's going through and working through that uncomfortable stuff that connects you to something that's so much greater. And like, I don't know if this is the truth, but I needed to go through all of the pain and the suffering, going through the divorce, the isolation, the 3 months of hell I wanted to end my life several times before I really connected to the love of life, the love for myself. And the more I've remained connected to that, and it's not an easy thing, it is uncomfortable, it is difficult. Learning what I've learned and thinking that this is what I need to be doing has disconnected me from that love. Yeah. Hey, Luna. It's so difficult. Yeah, Bexy, definitely. Can be. What do you do? As in, it's just some sort of therapy, I imagine. The only way you can really understand what it is that I do is just have a conversation with me. Just experience it for yourself, even if it's just for 30 minutes. Because then deep down you'll know, okay, I see what Tom does. Is that right for me now or not? No. Trust you. Trust yourself. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. Yeah. Thank you, Luna. Could not do self-love meditation, it was too hard. Yes, Sunita. Don't try to like force something. If you know it feels really difficult, really uncomfortable, maybe there's more emotions and things you need to process. I've really got stuck in trying to like be in my own head and solve everything in my own head. And I still do it so often, right? I try and work through it all in my own mind. I try and sit here and process what's going wrong in my life. What am I afraid of doing, all this other stuff. And I've realized that in one conversation with someone else who just gets it and really listens to me and then reflects back to me or asks me a question, I see something quicker than I've done sitting in my own head journaling about it for fucking 6 months. So that's why you may have seen I've started a book club. I've got a few lovely, incredible souls that are going to be joining me on an overcoming under-earning, for example. And we're going to be working through our own fears around money, just as an example. But the point here is to see that you don't have to go through this alone. And when you share it, when you're honest about what your experience is and what you're going through, it gets easier. It gets so much easier. Atheist Catholic society, it's possible to have a peaceful relationship. Yeah, I mean, if there's so many rules and restrictions and fears involved, then yeah, it is. No one wants to live in fear. So you're trying to do something in the right way, trying to be so controlled. That's not how life works. You can't have the control and limitation in that way. I think see that as a problem with a lot of religions. There's a lot of very stringent rules and controls around stuff that it just panders to our own fears and insecurities and keeps us stuck. Yeah, I go off people's vibes a lot. If you're off, I'll be off. I'll run. Yeah, Amy, absolutely. That is that connection to your gut feeling, isn't it? Right? This person seems scammy. Tom just wants all my money and he doesn't really want to help me. If that's your gut feeling, run. Don't follow me. Don't be here. I want you to trust that wholeheartedly. That's the most important thing. Hey, Isla. It's called Overcoming Under-Earning by Barbara Stanny. I mean, if you have the book already or potentially be able to join us in one of the book clubs, I'm going to keep it open anyway, actually. We're going to go through it each week. And at the end of each week, we'll be going through the exercises after each chapter. And then we'll just be talking about the exercises and what came up for us as a result. Yeah, how do I do that? Yeah, Jax, if you want to have a conversation with me, in my bio, there's a link to my website. Just book a conversation. It should be very obvious, the link there. Yeah, it'll just go straight into my calendar, a time that suits you best. Just, go for it. It's completely free, 30 minutes. We can have a conversation, hear what's going on for you. Hey, look, sometimes people come to me like, Tom, I want to learn how to become more of a medium. Like I want to connect to spirit more deeply. Look, I'm not the expert on that. I have a lovely, lovely soul I'm going to recommend you to straight away. Like I'm not going to be pretending I can do things I can't do, but if it comes to relationships and being a highly sensitive person, let's talk. I have enough lived experience of this now. Yeah. Yeah, and this is welcome. And look, I know sometimes in my own experience, I've thought to myself, I don't deserve that space. There's someone else who's in a worse position than me and they'd benefit from that time more. No. When are you going to begin to commit to yourself? When are you going to choose yourself? When are you going to take the time to put yourself as the priority? That's why I'm here as well, to remind you of that, how important it is. Luna, do you have any advice about panic attacks, high anxiety? Yes. The first thing I'm going to say about panic attacks is when you're noticing you're about to have a panic attack, those thoughts and the stress about like, oh my God, I'm having this, and you try and stop it or try and do anything about it will only make it worse. And I know it sounds so counterintuitive, but like a true, honest surrendering into and accepting of it. Okay, things have been bad enough now and my body's having a panic attack. Oh well, it is what it is. It will last as long as it lasts. I've noticed in myself, every time I've tried to do something more about it, it makes it worse, lasts longer. Yeah. Sometimes I had to have a panic attack because I was forcing myself to do things that deep down I know that I didn't want to be doing. And the panic attack was my body's way of telling me that, Tom, this isn't right for you. You need to listen, man. I've been giving you the hints. You've not been taking them. Here's the panic attack, so you actually have to listen to me now. I've ended up in A&E twice. I've had a lost feeling in half my face. I thought I was having a stroke by the symptoms, but it's to do with stress. I was forcing myself to do things I didn't want to be doing. I was ignoring how I was feeling in my body. And my body's like, Tom, nah, mate. We're not going down that path, you know? And then 2 weeks later, I wasn't listening to my body. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks later. I ended up having an intense chest pain, A&E again. All the tests came back, went for an MRI scan of my head. No problems. It was basically all in my head. It's all to do with stress. That was an awful thing to be to be confronted with. Tom, there's nothing wrong with you physiologically. You're just putting yourself under a lot of stress. That's what's causing this. Oh yeah, I was disconnected again. Yeah, I should probably listen to myself some more. Yeah, I sit still and touch my heart. That helps. Beautiful, beautiful way of putting it. There's such a profound connection to our own hearts when we do that. Yeah. I can't detach from some people. How can I change that? You ask yourself why. Why is it I don't feel like I can detach from some people? What is it about these people? What are they giving me? What are they providing to me that I'm so attached to that I refuse to let go of? Like there's something there. Yeah, if you want to talk about that, let's do it. Yeah, genuinely thank you. You need to hear this more than I realised. Yeah, shy. Yeah. If nothing else, take this away. You are so damn powerful. So damn powerful. And when you begin to really love and trust yourself, everything in your life will change. Yeah, and that's what I'm here for. I get excited thinking about it because it's not just about you though, is it? When you show up as being that connected, that loving of yourself and what it is that you're doing, in whichever thing that is, learning a piano, flying a helicopter, I don't care what it is, when you show up as yourself, fully expressing the love that you feel in your heart, it's inspiring. It's beautiful. That's the most incredible way to live. Yeah. In a healthy relationship, I overthink replies by text, etc. Yeah, because you're clearly very attached to that relationship. You've probably had a lot of experiences of not being in the relationship, not being with the feelings that you feel. So of course you're going to overthink. Of course you're going to have those thoughts about how do I keep myself safe? How do I keep myself in this relationship? How do I keep this working? Like that's our brain's way of, it's like a survival instinct. I was without it before. I have it now. I need to keep this. And that's like the neediness. That's the grasping of it. Completely natural, completely normal. But if you can see that there's a reason why you are doing that, it gives you the permission to release it a little bit. Trust yourself that bit more. Like you don't need to be so tight with the grip. This isn't pre-recorded. I'm just going through a few messages, a few behind, by the way. Feel safe when I do that. Feel home. Yeah, fantastic. I'm glad you found my account as well. Feel free to follow along. I'm going live every Monday to Friday. And we're likely going to speak more about relationships. I think a lot of times I've spoken a lot about more spiritual stuff and religion. And I'm like, do you know what? Let's just get practical. Let's speak about this stuff that's actually going to be really useful and valuable. There's more integrated with my lived experience as well. It's a bad idea to meet someone after getting divorced. I mean, no, I met someone fairly soon after getting divorced. And I know a lot of times you think, whoa, red flag. You haven't given yourself enough time to think and process stuff. And I can really relate to that. And maybe that's the truth of it. But I think in any relationship, it's very difficult to find someone that's perfect, and to force myself to be perfect before having conversations and meeting someone else like that. Because on the one hand, I could have said to myself, oh yeah, maybe I was doing that because of like a neediness. And I wasn't secure in myself. And maybe I'm not even secure in myself now fully. But I can see how the relationship I've attracted has been someone that is so... it's worked out to be so perfect. Like we love and support each other in all the ways that we both need. Like it's so mutual. And don't get me wrong, there's been times of difficulty because of like learning and processing and going through the stuff that we're going through. And that's part of the journey, right? But you have to be so honest about where you're at and not trying to hide it, from the other person, pretend like, oh yeah, I've got all my shit together, all my ducks in a row. Like, look at me, look at my fancy job, look at my house, what are this other stuff? That's so performative. Just gotta be honest about what you are struggling with. Because in being truly emotionally vulnerable, there's a real strength and connection that forms as a result of that. The way you speak about panic attacks makes me think of my relationship with anger. I avoid it. Beautiful revelation there. When you avoid being with any emotion, especially anger, no wonder stuff happens as a result of that avoiding, you know? How to stop spiraling into a panic attack. Grounding doesn't work. Yeah. There's things that you're ignoring, maybe it's things you're not doing, a way that you're not being compassionate, kind, loving towards yourself, that is creating the panic attack in the first place. I'm not saying this to make you feel a certain way, to feel guilty, shameful around it, just to raise your awareness to it. Be more honest about how you are feeling and find the spaces where you can be vulnerable and share your lived experience. And I know that sometimes it's difficult to put into words, but it's connecting to the feeling of it, right? Would love some help dating again after a relationship. Hey, Isla, yeah. Yeah, if you want any sort of conversation about that, Isla, even if you just want to, Tom, I'm about to have a date. I've got some stuff in my mind I'm a little bit concerned about. Just book that time. Have a conversation beforehand, because I'm sure it'll go even better. Yeah, it is a live video. 22 messages behind, because you lovely souls keep asking some beautiful questions here. Hypervigilant after a 17-year relationship. I can tell moods from footsteps. Sure, yeah. Yeah, maybe you had to be aware of your parents' footsteps and how they sounded. And they'd sound different depending on their moods. And that's something with you you'd continue to take with you up until adulthood, right? To protect yourself. Yeah. Can you get over an ex-wife? Yes, I've done it myself. Isabel, there's a reason why you may be finding it difficult to do that, but it's absolutely possible. Yeah. Yeah. Being highly sensitive as a guy is a dating death sentence. If that's been your experience, I'd say that there's a lot of women here that would say absolutely not a death sentence. They would say actually that being emotionally vulnerable is a fucking green flag, mate. Like, are you emotionally intelligent enough to be honest about how you're feeling and to express that and to be able to process and deal with your own emotions in a real loving way? Man, that's so fucking attractive. That is. It's a rarity. That's a gift. Do you help work with anxious attachment? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If you're a human being, you're like, Tom, I really think I'd benefit from a conversation with you. Just book it. It's 30 minutes. It's free. And then you'll just see for yourself and you'll be like, do you know what? Yeah, I think Tom could help me with this. Or you'll be like, actually, no, this ain't going to work. You'll just know it though. Trust your gut. I'm not here to try and force you or to sell you anything. It's up to you. Yeah. Still just trying to keep ourselves safe. Exactly that. Yeah. Saying exactly, Lomi. Yeah. Oh, you lovely souls. You've been saying total green flag, green flag. Yeah, exactly, right? We want to be emotionally vulnerable and to share that with each other. I think deep down, that's what we all crave. I think ultimately, that's why I see as being a source of the problems in the world. It's like we still feel so afraid that it's not safe for us to feel how we feel. And then we get into that world of, okay, if it's not safe for me to feel how I'm feeling, that means I need to do something about it. I need to change how the world is. We become like a politician. We start wars because we're trying to force the world to change. Oh yes, if we eradicate this population entirety, then it'll be safe for me to feel how I'm feeling. I think that's the core of it. And that's terrifying to me. So let's just be emotionally intelligent and share what's really going on for ourselves instead of killing each other. You know, it's not crazy. Yes, I am free for a call today. I have a few slots this afternoon. So if you were like, Tom, I want to have a conversation like right now, today, send me a message straight away after this and I'll see what we can do. We'll get you in somewhere. Apple Blossom, what have you said here? And I just can't jump from, what you said about that. I haven't seen above what you've said. Can't jump from one person to the next. Takes me ages to open up. They get disinterested because I'm taking too long. Okay. Maybe then it's not about jumping from one person to the next. It clearly takes you a while to cultivate that feeling of safety, to be open enough and vulnerable enough to do it. To talk about what's really going on for you. And that's okay. And if someone else is saying to you, do you know what? I haven't got the time for this. Like you're taking a while to open up. That's okay too. We have to allow other people to have their own discernment, to trust what's right for them. We can't try and force anyone to be different. If only all these people gave me more time to be myself and open up, then it'll be different. Nah, sorry to say it, but hey, Sophie. Yeah. The truth really is that there's a reason why you're not feeling safe enough to open up. And there's a fear that's keeping it closed off. It's like, if you imagine your heart could be open, but you got hurt at some point in the past, so you closed your heart off. Not only have you closed it off, there's a fortress involved now. So like to lower the drawbridge takes some time because you're so afraid of it getting hurt again. If you can be truly honest and vulnerable and open yourself up completely and not worry about being hurt because you'll know that you'll survive it deep down, that's the thing that's going to help you to connect far more quickly. I know that's a terrifying thing to consider. So maybe you just do it in pieces. Maybe there's the conversations that help you to open up bit by bit more often. And perhaps going from one person to the next is the thing that helps you to do that. And maybe that helps them to do that as well, and to help cultivate their patience and whatever else that they're going through. It doesn't need to be known, you know? Just keep doing what feels right for you. Yeah, the world is filled with... What a beautiful thing to say, Isla. The world is full of beautiful people. It really is. It really is. It's so easy to say, no, there's all the nasty, horrible people out there, but it's also so easy to see how there's so much beauty and there's so many lovely, kind souls. I look at the news sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, all these awful countries, all this pain and suffering's going on. And then I sometimes go on social media, or like a YouTube specifically, find a video of a cyclist cycling through all these different countries that I have loads of judgments about. And he's being like gifted water on the side of a road by someone driving past, and invited to someone's house for food and shelter. I'm like, am I living in the same world? Like, what's going on here? We can pick and choose it. And that's the beauty of our experience. We just got to be open to seeing that actually maybe we don't know everything. Yeah. I trust my dog. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I trust my dog too. Not all the time though. Sometimes his farts smell really bad. I'm like, oh, I don't trust him. Yeah. My boyfriend is the safest and most dangerous at the same time. Can I lecture us on how to become a Chad? Like, no, I'm not going to lecture anyone. Hi, Kaz. Yeah. Highly sensitive people tend to self-sabotage. Yeah, we typically do. I mean, I say we. I took my ownership of that because I feel like I'm a highly sensitive person. And self-sabotage comes from that fear, that insecurity. Something can trigger us and be like, oh, do you know what? I'm terrified that I'm not going to have my needs met now, so I can't continue doing what I've been doing. I need to protect myself. I need to close myself off. So even though I've cultivated this beautiful, open relationship by being so vulnerable, I'm now terrified of it all ending, so I'm going to close myself off. And then do you know what's going to happen? The relationship will end because I've closed off. So that's the self-sabotage. We have to notice, we have to become aware of that emotional state. And when we are choosing to close ourselves off, because it's so easy to blame other people, right? Blame other people for saying, it's your fault. It's your fault why I've had to close myself off because you're a nasty person. And I know this is maybe going a bit too deep now, but the truth really is that it's only ever your choice to close yourself off. And when you're choosing to blame someone else, you're giving that control panel of your heart away. And then you're wondering why it's so painful. Because the truth really is that you're the one that closed off. You closed off in response to what they're doing. And that was your choice. So when we can take back that awareness of, I always have the choice, that's always mine to make, then you can do something differently. But I get it. I don't want to invalidate, because that's deep. Just to go a bit more surface, there's reasons why you close off. Like you've gone through something bad in the past that's been painful, and you're just trying to protect yourself. And that's okay. And that's where we can be honest and vulnerable and talk about that. Okay, what's really going on for you? Why did you just close off then? Maybe you don't feel safe enough to talk about that in the relationship because you're afraid that that person's going to use what you're going to speak about to manipulate you, to control the relationship in some way. But it's so important we can be vulnerable and talk about and share why we chose to close off. Because in our innocence, in our childlike state, we came to that conclusion for a reason. I needed to protect myself back then. This is what worked for me. This is what helped keep me safe back then. But now as an adult, I see that I can now protect myself. I can choose to be more kind and loving towards myself, and I can protect that younger version of myself. I'm a naturally blonde. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was a blonde baby, so I think so. Yeah. Yeah, crazy kid. My brain automatically did it when I was hurt. So much had a breakdown. Yeah. Yeah, we automatically go to that default way of being. Here's what happened in the past. Here's what I needed to do to protect myself. But now it's like, I don't want to keep doing that. It's exhausting. I'm not creating a loving relationship that I really want in my life. Yeah. Okay, so I've been protecting myself for 6 years, post 18-year-old COVID narcissist the husband. Yeah. When you truly, I know this, I'm slowing things down a bit now, so feel free to follow along and come again when I'm in another high energy state. I'm calming, regulating now. It's been an hour in this state, so I'm like, you know what? Just need to breathe, just chill out. We're going to talk about things a bit more deeply here. When you feel like you're needing to protect yourself, that's there because in the past, there was a disconnect from that source of love within yourself. Perhaps in the past you needed the parent or the provider, the caregiver to be that source of love for you. And when they were the ones that were becoming like the enemy, we needed to protect ourselves. That disconnected us from that. We needed to close ourselves off to protect ourselves. But now as the adult, seeing that when we connect to that place, to me, it's like a river. It just doesn't stop flowing. I'm filled with so much love and positivity, and I just want to share it. Like I just want to be that. But I have to be that for myself first. I have to be connected to that river first before I can share it. It's a real important, like, felt internal difference that you experience there. Do you have advice for the fear of them leaving? Yeah, the fear of them leaving comes from the fear of what you perceive you would lose with them leaving. And it's only a fear because you're not seeing how actually you can provide that same feeling for yourself. That connection is available to you. And that's okay. That's something that is easy to have a conversation with you about to help you to connect to yourself rather than me just talking about it. Like it just doesn't, yeah. Changed ever since my abusive ex looked at my close off. Yeah, Fiona. Oh yeah, wow, Lynn as well. Can't even enjoy the relationship because you're just trying to prepare for them leaving. If that's the pattern, yeah, I can get into a relationship fine, but I can't seem to hold on to the relationship because I'm always preparing for them leaving. But it one day, hopefully one day very soon, especially if you have a conversation with me, you'll see that, oh, my fear about them leaving and then the actions I take from that fearful place is the thing that creates them leaving in the first place. And then when you can notice that, you can then begin to notice when you are connected to the fear. And you can be like, why am I afraid of this right now? And then you shift coming from a place of fear to a place of love for yourself. And I know this is very theoretical and I want to give you that experience. That's why that 30 minutes is free, so we can do our best to be in conversation and connect you to that experience. Ultimately, that's what the work with me is all about. It's that consistent connection to that source of self-love for yourself so that when those fears arrive, you don't have to continue living your life from them. You don't have to continue self-sabotaging a relationship like that. Self-love is the key. Yeah. Yeah, Luna, looking forward to our conversation. How did you deal with constant criticism from your significant other? This might be a bit deep. Again, a lot of what I'm speaking about here is just my connection to these things. What is a criticism? When someone is criticizing you, what's actually going on there? Let's just go within ourselves. When do you feel the need to criticize someone else? It's typically when you're feeling a certain way, right? You feel afraid, angry, upset, triggered, whatever words we want to use there, but you know how it feels when you want to say something to someone. It's like, I feel criticized. I feel like I've been in a position where I need to criticize someone else. Oh, you're doing that wrong. It shouldn't be like this. Can you see how the criticism comes out as a result of that feeling? So, for someone else to be critical, to be criticizing us, they must be feeling a certain way. And that feeling that they're feeling is disconnected from I like to say, the truth of who they really are, the source of love within themselves. They are disconnected from that, from themselves. And because they're disconnected from it, it's like they feel the pain, and I don't want to feel the pain anymore inside myself, so I'm going to project that outwards. I'm going to give it away instead. And it doesn't make them feel it. It makes them feel like a little bit better, but they're still connected to that source of pain inside themselves. And that's why you can see people being critical all of the time, consistently, and they get stuck in the criticism. Such a negative person to be around. Like, my energy shifted here, and I've lost like 20 odd people who've stopped watching me right now because of me choosing to connect to that energy. You feel it. You don't even have, it's not about the words I'm saying. It's like, oh, I don't listen to Tom. I don't want to be connected to that energy. I want to be connected to the loving, positive energy that Tom once was, like literally 20 seconds ago. And I know I'm looking at my head. In my head, I'm like, oh no, I've done something wrong, but I haven't. I've done it as a way of explaining to someone who's really listening and wants to get this for themselves that you can feel the difference. Like when I'm really loving myself, I feel really positive. I don't want to criticize. I want to bring people up. I want to help and love and support each other. But when someone's critical and criticizing, it's like they're more constricted, they're more disconnected, they're absent from that source of love within themselves. And I'm saying this because the criticism that they're giving isn't even about you. It's nothing to do with you. It looks like it is. Tom, your nose is so crooked and whatever else the criticism might be. I've had that before several times. That's not even about me. That's just coming from the insecure place and being projected outwards because of how they feel. It's when we take it and we connect to that energy and we believe it to be true that we then suffer. We disconnect from our own love within ourselves. That person saying that thing isn't the one to blame. Yeah, Fiona, they're really criticizing themselves. Yeah, we can go into that as well. But they're not the one to blame. They're just doing what they think is right. We need to take responsibility for how we are taking it. I'm receiving this criticism and it's making me feel a certain way. That's interesting. Is that who I really am? Am I really that negative emotion? Is that the truth? No, I know. I feel like actually I'm disconnected from that source of love that I know that I really am, because that feels way more true. And then just choosing to reconnect to that love, bring that love to the criticism, what you've just received, and be like, yeah, do you know what? I can forgive that person in an instant. You can be like, oh yeah, I see what you said, but I can see what's really going on for you. And I love you for that. If you can get to that place, you are. That's freedom. I'm telling you, that's a real freedom. When you can see someone being so angry and upset and violent and frustrated and criticizing you so intensely, and you could be like, I still love you because there's nothing you can do to hurt me. Because I have that. Everything I need is inside myself. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. Very welcome. Yeah, I love my mum. Yeah. There's a lot we can speak about in terms of the past, right? And how people have really genuinely hurt us. There's maybe been physical abuse. You can connect to this source of love within yourself, and you can see clearly. It's like seeing through the eyes of love is a way of describing it. Like you're seeing through the eyes of, let's go with the other. You know, when you're really tired, you've had a long day, you're really angry, you're upset, frustrated, maybe something's gone bad in work. You're looking through the eyes of frustration. You're looking through the eyes of upset. And nothing seems to go right. You can't see how the world is a positive, loving place because you're looking through the eyes of that emotional feeling. This is what we're speaking about here. When you can connect to love within yourself, and it's whatever, maybe a difficult journey to get there, that's what I'm here to do, help to teach you to connect to that. So if you want to work with me, send me a message, we'll do that. It's a free conversation waiting for you. But when you really want to connect to that, you can then see through the eyes of love. And it changes your perspective on things. And you see more clearly that, that person's so upset, so angry, because they're struggling with their own pain. They're just disconnected. They're feeling something inside themselves and they're struggling. You see the innocence behind it. I can see the inner child that's kicking and screaming, being like, I don't want to be living like this anymore. I can't keep dealing with this suffering and this pain. And they're outwardly projecting all of the time. And I still love them. I'm like, inside there's a child that's suffering in there. Or a young adult. Yeah. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Andres. May I ask, do you have any mental illness, chronic illness, pain, surgeries, mind-body disconnect? I have none I'm aware of. Look, right, if I was to go and seek a diagnosis for something, like, where do I even begin with this? Yeah, it feels like I'm dragging myself down here a bit, but as a result of what I've gone through, I could be diagnosed with complex PTSD, whatever. To me, it's all just a label. And maybe you judge me as being like, Tom, you're nuts. Tom, you're absolutely insane. How have you got to this place? And I'm like, look, I used to be an aircraft engineer. Like, I'm not an idiot. I spent 9.5 years of my life working on aircraft. Like, I'm not an idiot. I spent most of my life living in my own head, very logical. I could have become a doctor if I wanted to. I believe that anyone could do anything that they want to if they truly commit to it. Do you know what I'm committed to? Living a life free from suffering. Living a life of just love and extending love. Happiness, joy, freedom. That's what I'm committed to. And when I'm committed to that, and I'm seeing other people and they're not committed to that, and they're committed to their own suffering and stuff, I'm like, why? What's going on there? I don't need to do anything about it. Like, I don't need to be here, but I want to be here. This is my way of extending that which I feel within myself. And I'm not sure, Jenny, why you may ask. To me, if anything, there's the strongest mind-body connect I've ever experienced in my whole life. Apart from maybe when I was very, very young. Yeah. What's my star sign? Taurus. How can you be free from suffering? What is suffering to you? Yeah, good question. There's a lot that's encapsulated with that, of what suffering is. To me, let's just keep it really simple for now. Every time you are disconnected from that source of love that deep down you are, people call it God, people call it being Christ. When you are connected to that place within yourself, it's like you're just whole. You are complete. You allow everything to be exactly as it is. You allow all the emotions to just be there. And you don't withhold your love from them. There's no fear because there's no longer an absence of love anymore. Like, that's what this is. You can't suffer in that space. Like, it's not possible. I can connect to that space and I can bring up the emotions of my past and how I had traumatic experiences in my life and near-death experiences and stuff like that. And I don't suffer with them at all. It's just so peaceful. And so my commitment is to live from that place. I know it sounds delusional. I know it sounds crazy, especially to myself in the past where I was suffering. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean, Tom? You're trying to live from that place? That's not the way to do it. You're a human being. And I know that's exactly what I am. I am being a human being. So I'm allowing myself to feel the emotions, all of the human emotions I'm feeling. That's interesting. Why am I feeling so upset over that? I must have believed something in the past that has created this experience for me right now in this way. I'm getting this emotional about it. And I love and accept myself for that. Yeah. Buddha style. I suppose so. Yeah. Hey, Sarah. Had 12 weeks apart from my ex. Message to try and make it work. He's thinking, help. What do you want help with? Do you want to make it work? Does your ex want to make it work? If so, why not? There's so much beautiful complexity that comes up as a result of who you are as a human being. Yeah, and I love you for being who you are in this. Being honest about what it is that you really want, like deep down in your heart, what it is that you truly desire. Do you want to get back with them? Do you want to make it work? I don't know if he does. And what if it went wrong? I see. Yeah. Can you be really honest with me and say, why is it, you don't have to say me now, but like just to yourself, why is it that you want to make it work? What does that relationship represent to you? Is it because there's a fear deep down that's like, I don't want to be without this person because I don't think I'll ever find someone else like him? Or is it just a true love? Like, I want to continue having this experience with him. I want to become a better version of myself. I want him to become a better version of himself. I want to go on that journey together. Like, you'd feel the answer. It's like, is it a fear if you lose him? Or is it a love? Like, do you know what? I really want to make this work, but I'm okay with it not being with him because I'm now more connected about what it is that I want. Like there's, yeah, lots we could talk about there. Hey Jenny, when physical pain or mental anguish due to your brain chemistry issues plague you 40 years. Yeah. Jenny, I'm not sure what you're asking. Look, if you want me to talk about like brain chemistry issues or something, I don't believe it. And that's my honest truth. Like if you need to go and speak to someone else about brain chemistry and stuff, then do that. But I'm not the person. I'm not the person. Because I believe that you are like a walking pharmacy in that way. You can create the chemicals that are needed. I don't know. I do know. I'm going to speak to what is true for me. Do you know what? If I'm stuck struggling, I'm stuck being depressed, and I've gone through there's been so many experiences in my past that have resulted in me believing I need to be this certain way in the world now in order to survive. So of course I'm going to be stuck there, you know? Yeah, and of course positivity is going to be far less attainable. It's going to be feeling like it's further away. But to me, the solution is exactly the same thing. It all comes back to being as compassionate and loving and kind towards yourself by being connected to that place within yourself. Like the more you can do that for yourself, the better it will get, regardless of what the situation and circumstances are. I may have no arms and no legs, but if I'm more kind and compassionate towards myself in my own like thoughts and connection within my body, allowing myself to feel the emotions and stuff, the better I will feel. So like the brain chemistry to me is like, it comes second. You can't solve this problem by treating it with drugs the whole time. It doesn't work like that for me. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Had so many amazing times together, and yes, I want us to work on things together. Yeah, fantastic. You really enjoyed the times and experiences together. My concern would be, are you holding on to that and believing that it's not possible for you to have more of those amazing times with someone else? Does it have to be with him? Because it's been with him in the past. So therefore, in order to have those amazing times again in your life, it has to be with him. Like, it's just being clear about whether that's like a certainty for you. Is that meshed? Yeah. I feel like I'm trying to help you through the work here. Feel free to have a conversation after this. I'd love to talk through it with you. Gut connection to the brain to trauma affects the gut. Yeah, exactly. It does. It really does. If I have like a load of processed junk food, I crash. I feel awful in myself. And then the emotions that I start to feel come as a result of how I'm physically feeling in my body. And then I start having thoughts that are tied into because I'm having that emotion. And like keeps me stuck and spiraling in that trap. And that's why you hear things like, Tom, go and do exercise and eat healthy. Because by doing the fundamentals, by sleeping well, by exercising, by eating healthily, like you're setting yourself up for success. It makes doing this internal inner work even easier. Why does everyone of you look like appearance and I get so much rejection because of it? Here's a perception for you. I think that people look more attractive when they are more connected to that love inside themselves. So if you're finding it difficult because people are saying you're not very attractive because of how you look, ask yourself, how are you feeling inside yourself? Are you being connected to that source of love, self-love, compassion, kindness within yourself, and doing things that are supportive towards yourself? Are you taking yourself out on the hobbies and doing things you love? I know that all sounds superficial, but when you truly are connected to that, you'll glow. People will be like, whoa, who's this person? They're positively glowing. I love this guy or girl. Yeah. Hey, do I have any recommendations for card games that start deep convos? I do. Let me go get it. I'll be right back. Just think, I feel like I need to have an affiliate link for this now because this is one I really enjoy. I don't do it that often, but it's something called Best Self Intimacy. There's 150 prompts. Let's just pull a card out and read it. Tell me 2 things I can do better to support you. Bam, what a great one. That's a great one straight away. They're all great cards. Best Self Intimacy. Not sure where you're going to go find it, but 100% card game, well worth doing. There's different colours. I think, let's just double check, just so you know what it's all about. Oh, is there anyone in your life you're holding a grudge against? Explain. It's just understanding yourself and each other more deeply. There's a red card here. Is that an intimacy one? Who do you regret sleeping with? Yeah. So it's yeah, pretty good game. Can you tell me how I stopped caring so much how I look? The best time I had was when I didn't care. And I look the best, but I can't stop looking in the mirror. Happens too often. Yeah. There's a reason why you care about how you look. And it's being very honest about what that is. If you're afraid, because the reason's going to be born in fear. There's going to be a fear there. I'm afraid that if I don't look a certain way, I won't receive something. I won't feel a certain way. I won't be able to attract a certain person. There's an honest reason there. Being honest about the fear is the thing that's going to help you set free from it. Be set free from it. Yeah, counterspell. I don't really love myself, but that's also because of it and years of bullying. So those bullies, their voices are likely still living in your head. Living rent-free, as it were. And you're continuing to degrade yourself by believing you don't look good because of what other people said. Self-love is all about seeing how that's not the truth. That's someone else's belief. When you truly connect to it for yourself, you're like, oh yeah, I fucking love myself. I love how I look. I don't need to change anything. I don't need to be anyone else other than myself. Yeah. Very welcome. Seen on Amazon just now. Fantastic. Yeah. Great card game. Yeah. Hey Sarah. Yeah, if you want to have a conversation with me afterwards, just send me a direct message and we'll work it out. I've got some time today, so yeah, we can definitely make it happen. Yeah. And if you want to have a conversation, be like, I don't want to have it right away, don't have it today, go check out my website. There's a link. It's completely free, 30 minutes. We can talk about anything you want. I'm an open book. I listen. We can work through anything that you're going through right now. And then, yeah, trust yourself. You've got this. Oh, this one is just for couples. Is this just for couples? I'm thinking about this one, right? I'm thinking about the questions. Like, if you think this is just for couples, I would question that, because if I was to ask myself the question, what are some things you liked and disliked in previous relationships? That is such an incredible self-reflection question and just a source of inspiration to journal about. Yeah, go for it. Don't need to be in a couple to do this. Definitely not. You're in a relationship with yourself, so yeah. I've ever done counselling training. Yeah, I did a core counselling skills. There's a certificate on my website if that means anything to you, but I think if you just want to add an asterisk to this, just because someone has qualifications and is highly qualified doesn't mean they're competent at what they do. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people that are very judgmental, and they hide behind their qualifications to not do the inner work, to get to that place of non-judgment, acceptance, love of others. So just be cautious of that. I think deep down in your gut, you'll know it to be true. But yeah, just generally in life, qualifications do not equal competency. They're two different things. Yeah. If you want to have a conversation after this, just let me know. Yeah, I've got the time, so we'll make it happen. I'm not being me because I have pre-construct. Almost every interaction is normal. Yeah. I would say, well, it is normal. It's your normal, Daz, isn't it, right? You're being who you think you need to be. And there's a reason why you're still being that. And again, to me, it comes back to the simplicity of fear. We're afraid of if I take off that mask, if I think I need to be, and I show that my face of who I really am, I'm going to be rejected. Maybe I was rejected in the past for whatever reason. But now, I'm sick of being anyone else other than me. That's the work, really. That's the deep inner work. It's the identity, the core of who you are, who you believe that you are. Stay connected to the vine, you'll bear much fruit. Brenda, beautifully put. Yeah. The ones most qualified are the ones with the most real-world experience trauma. Yeah. Sad but true, right? I'm based in Weston-super-Mare, so if you want to have a conversation in person, feel free. I'd love to do that. My goal long-term is to have an in-person practice, only in person, so no online at all. I'll have healing retreats in the not-too-distant future as well. Yeah. Finn. How do you grow confidence to leave someone? Speaking up about your internal experience will help you to see what's going on for yourself if taking that step of leaving them is someone, if taking that step of leaving is a big step, like too big of a step to take right now, perhaps the little steps are as simple as just doing the things that you say you're going to do. If you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to meal plan, a meal prep, I'm going to go to the gym at this time. Doing those things, when you say that you're going to do them, will build your confidence. And then that big step suddenly won't be so big. It's just another step. Yeah. That's generic for all confidence as well. Yeah, Luna, let's have a conversation. Maybe you could visit. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Have an office decorated for exactly that. Yeah, I love in-person clients. I've been working with someone for over a year and a half now. It's been amazing how time flies. Love it. Thank you for being here. Hi, Julie. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully you've gained a lot from this experience. But if you want to take this deeper, let's have those conversations. I'll be here for you. I'll be live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. UK time. So just reach out for support. If you want to have a conversation today, send me that message. If you want to have a conversation at another point in the future, book it. It's on my website. It's completely free. No strings attached. And it's surprisingly affordable to work with me. I'll say that. Yeah. Until tomorrow. I'll say goodbye for now. Come on more. I will. If you're following, I'll be live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. UK time. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Love to you. You've got this.